Welcome to everybody. Whether you're calling in from Australia, Europe, or Canada, great to have you here tonight. We're excited. We've got a special guest in the house tonight, Dr. Marty Monahan out of Florida, who is a healthcare practitioner as well as a naturopathic doctor, chiropractor, and he's going to be sharing with us tonight how one simple strip is redefining human energy and nutrition. So welcome to the call. It's going to be exciting to get this information. You may want to have a pen and paper handy to make notes on some of the things that are happening in the nutritional world now, cutting edge science and technology. Just to introduce Dr. Marty, he is the owner of Sunridge Health and Healing Center. He co-authored the book, The Blueprint to Optimal Health. He's lectured extensively on the biometrics of the spine, chiropractic, nutrition, nitric oxide metabolism, core health, and many other natural therapies. It is a real pleasure, Dr. Marty, to have you with us tonight. We're excited. We're ready to go here and hear some of the insights that you've attained about phytoplankton product and what it can do to enhance our health here at this point in our lives. So welcome, and go ahead, Dr. Marty.
Thank you, Rob. I've been in practice now for 35 years, and one of my favorite products in the clinic is this product called Phytoplankton, and we're going to get into that tonight. I'll give you some statistics. Back in 1940, a pound of carrots had 80,000 international units of vitamin A, and so today they've got like 5,000, international units of vitamin A. So there's a massive soil depletion that's been occurring. And a lot of my patients are nutrient deficient. They're not only nutrient deficient, but they're also being I call toxified by the air, by the water, by the food they eat, by the chemicals that are exposed to, the heavy metals. I had a patient this week that was in, and it was a cancer patient. And this was something that she had been living in an area, and we looked up the water. By the way, you might want to jot this down. This is the little nugget. If you go to ewg.org/tap water, you can pull up your water. Now, it just so happened that this water, there was arsenic in the water. Okay, now that's not filtered out. That's not filtered out by the municipalities. Definitely causes cancer. There's also radium. Okay, that's a radioisotope that also causes cancer. But there was also another 10 other things that are in the water that actually cause cancer, all these halogens. And so is this a root cause? Well, you mix all those chemicals together and you're bathing every day, maybe one or twice a day in this water. Can this cause problems? Absolutely. Aaron Brockovich, whole movie was involved in that with a chemical called chromium hexavalent. And by the way, that was in that water too. So when we're exposed to these things, our bodies are under tremendous stress, and we need a good source to put back into the body. And there's a lot of different supplements I recommend in the practice. This is one of my favorite, actually. So we are all a little nutrient deficient. We really are. And the neat thing about phytoplankton is that this is really the bottom of the food chain. It really, really is amazing that core nutrition, what feeds the planet, not only its oxygen, but also its mineral supplies and omega-3s and all these other wonderful things that this marine phytoplankton does. And what's interesting is that the way we have it in our form, it's really bioavailable. This means it's going to get into our cells, and I'm going to get into that. I think you're going to like it. This comes from the oceans. Okay, so when people say, well, the trees make the oxygen, yeah, they do, but more oxygen's made from this phytoplankton. It is what the smaller fish eat, that the bigger fish eat, the bigger ones, the bigger ones, the bigger ones, and all the way up to us. And it's packed full of nutrition. And so when I say there's no silver bullet that we can use to fight off disease, there is things that have a very wide array of health benefits. And this is one of those superfoods. In fact, I don't even call it a superfood. I call it a super duper food. It's that powerful. And it's something I take every day. It is one of those things that when we really think about it, if it's good for the little people, little things on this planet, it's going to be good for us too. Okay. And it's the same base nutrition that they need, that we need, that we all need. We all need minerals. We all need vitamins. We all need omega-3s. We all need essential fatty acids, essential amino acids. These are critical for rebuilding tissues and rebuilding body systems. It doesn't matter if it's the brain, doesn't matter if it's the cardiovascular system. It doesn't matter the system. It all needs a stockpile in your body to when these new cells are forming, they have good nutrition to make better cells. And those cells then have a lifespan. It doesn't matter if it's a skin cell, brain cell, pancreas, doesn't really matter the cell. They all have lifespans. And as the old cells are dying off, new cells are being made. And our DNA is responsible for that. It's the programming of that. And when we have that down, all of a sudden things just work better. But if when the cells are going to the, say, magnesium storage and there's not enough magnesium in the bin, well, it's going to kind of make do. It's going to make do with the best that it can. And the cells just don't have the same level of vitality that it does when we have a good base of nutrition. When we harness this process, we're able to capture the vital force of really the planet Earth. If you can think about it, this is the life force of the majority of the life force of planet Earth. And there's more than 5,000 different species of phytoplankton. Some scientists say that there's up to 20,000 species of phytoplankton. Again, it's Earth's original nutrition. It really is. And what's fascinating about it is that the way that the sunlight is processed with these little creatures, it really turns them into the life form of the planet, the majority of the life form. And if you think about it, there's more phytoplankton on the planet Earth than any other creature in existence. You got to kind of think about that, right? So they're the dominant species on the planet, kind of way, in a way. And really, it's one of those ways that if we can capture this and grow it and process it in a very thorough and sustainable fashion, then we can attain some of that health benefits as well. That's why we really enjoy phytoplankton. When people are looking for health benefits, this is a popular topic right now. And over the last few years, it's gained more popularity. There's more searches on this product because of its wide array of health benefits. And so this is one of those things that people are very cognitive of. Before COVID, I had some nutritional sales. Since COVID, my nutritional sales has gone up by 4 times. And it's because more and more people are recognizing the best care is self-care. I need to take personal responsibility for myself. If you go to a doctor's office, there's one person in the room that should have more cognition about taking control of their health. It's not your doctor, it's you. So I want to encourage you. If you've got a health challenge, it doesn't matter what the problem is. Become an authority on that challenge. Know more than your doctor knows about that challenge. Yeah, you can. If I have a problem, I want to know all the different solutions to that problem. And that's really what patients want. That's why they come and see us at Sunridge. They want to know all the different things that are available for that specific problem, whatever it might be. They want to know the traditional methods, the alternative, the experimental, the wackadoo. They want to know all of it, and then they'll make it a good decision about how to treat that problem. I was told recently that I'm part of Generation X, and that's the information generation. And maybe it's this generation that's saying, well, you know what? I hear your opinion, but I want to do my own research. I want to find out this information myself. So when you Google phytoplankton and the health benefits of it. It's extensive. These phytoplankton strips have a technology that is like no other. This technology with NRG has a bioavailable process that no one else has. We're going to get into that. This is called quantum nutrition. This is far more absorbed than, say, supplements or, say, powders or pills or liquids or even injections. And these strips are like a little Listerment strip. By the way, I don't recommend Listerment, okay, because it knocks down nitric oxide levels, okay? That's been proven that if you use mouthwash, it's going to cause some nitric oxide problems. This little strip is just put on your tongue and it kind of melts in your mouth and it's got a little bit of a vanilla flavor to it. And I find when I take this, it just gives me another little spring in my step. I feel better with it. And the reason why is because of the delivery. It's not only a very effective product just by itself, but the delivery into the cells is what is exciting about this product. What areas does this affect? Everything. When I mean that, I mean it sincerely. That sounds cliche, but it is going to affect every tissue of the body, including the DNA, including the chromosomes, including the skin. Every tissue needs base nutrition. And as these tissues are deficient, the system becomes deficient and there's going to be a problem. Doesn't matter if it's brain tissue, doesn't mean it's cardiovascular problems. It's all needing good, high quality nutrition. There's a book that comes out every 3 or 4 years. It's called The Comparative Guide to Nutritional Supplements. And when I see people that take supplements, a lot of people do, I say, what supplement are you taking? Let's look and see how it compares to the experts on the planet, the top nutritional people, how they rank that multivitamin. More importantly, what they look at what is that we should take on a daily basis, vitamins, minerals, cofactors, A to Z. What should we take? And the top experts were asked this question. The Comparative Guide to Nutritional Supplements, a book, every 3 or 4 years comes out. They actually interviewed all these top nutritionists, people that you would recognize, and they gave their answers. What was interesting is they looked at they actually blended those averages and the upper limits, and then they did spectrographic, that's a high-tech device to actually look and see what's actually in the bottle. It doesn't mean really what's on the label. That could be accurate or not accurate. But what they did is they did gaseous and liquid spectrographic analysis on the actual contents of the bottle to see what was actually in it. And then they compared them. And so what they did is they actually did a liquid and gaseous spectrographic analysis. And what was amazing is that they did a comparison to what was actually in it. And then what they did is they did a rating system to that product versus what they recommended. And I'll ask, and people say, "Oh, I take Centrum." Well, let's look it up. And I got 1 star out of 5 star. Oh, well, let's look up all these other ones. And so there's ways that we can actually analyze what's actually in the supplement and then make sure that we're getting quality supplements into our body. This product affects every cell in the tissues, every cell in your body. It is loaded with these nutrients. By the way, saw an interesting person recently that had anemia. Now they were taking iron, but what's interesting is that copper is a very common nutrient deficiency. If you don't have enough copper in your system, 95% of our iron in our body is recycled. It's the most efficient recycling system on earth is our body. It actually recycles the dead blood cells and they go back into the system and they process again. And if you don't have enough copper, it doesn't work efficiently. People can be taking plenty of iron, and iron can turn in, if you overshoot iron, by the way, and a lot of patients do, that actually creates more oxidative stress. called iron oxide, otherwise known as rust. Okay, and so we really have to monitor how much iron people are taking. But this is one of my favorite things that this has is copper, because copper is oftentimes deficient in a lot of people. Also, it's got omega-3. Now, omega-3, you've heard of this with fish oil. Most of us as Americans have got too much inflammation going on. I would say that most disease starts from overinflammation, just too much inflammatory foods, eating the wrong foods, eating reactive foods, having too much omega-6 versus omega-3 ratios, and not having enough quality nutrition to keep the body going. One of the easiest ways to heal the body is to feed it what it needs. If you give the body what it needs and sleep, and if you're eliminating normally, as you should, the body heals. It's amazing. God created us this incredible body, this incredible system. Same force that made the stars is the same force that made us. And there's a healing potential in us. I find that I had a patient that come in the other week and they had 12 different medications they were taking. I said, is that creating a lot of health in you? How are you doing with that? If medications were the answer, we'd be the healthiest nation on earth here in the United States. We produce 96% of the medication on the planet. Are we the healthiest? No. We're number 50, right behind Ethiopia. So I want to encourage you, think about adding more nutrition into your system in some way that makes sense to you. You know what the cost of cancer is? The average cost of a person with diagnosis of cancer is $409,000. This is an investment in your health. When you invest in your health, it's a guaranteed return on investment. It really is. When you work out, when you got adequate sleep, when you deep breathe, when you have good oxygenation, when you monitor your sleep pattern, this little ring like this monitors my O2 levels. It monitors my heart rate variability. Why would I not want to know that? I want to keep alive a nice long life, nice long healthy life. And I want you the same for you too, if you want that. The space we're talking about is very, very small. This quantum nutrition thing is right next to the water molecule as far as the size that we're talking about. So this is a technology, a delivery system that no one else has that we know of on Earth. Now, others will copy this eventually, but we're the first to market on this. This goes right through the cell membrane into the mitochondria, into activating cellular energy. This is exciting. This technology was not available 5 years ago. It wasn't available 1 year ago. This year, this was developed. And we're bringing quality nutritional products to market with this. Powerful product. This product is part of my immune system protocol, my core system protocol, and my brain function system protocol. But actually, it can be part of all my protocols, including cardiovascular, gut integrity, all of them. So that's what's called the core system. Basic 101. This means that everyone should be taking this. We reduce this to a subatomic level. Means it goes right into the cell structures. And this is the slide of the night, really. It really is. When you have this technology, you are absorbing 90% plus of absorption of the material that's in that product. When you take a pill, and I'll see pills on X-rays all the time. I mean, it's funny. They'll have this coating around this pill to have a 30-year shelf life, and it can survive a nuclear blast. And I'll say, you took your vitamins today. Yep, you sure did. Oh yeah, I took my vitamins today. I sure did. There it is, right in your X-ray. See that vitamin? About that big? Yep, that's it right there. This means it passed the stomach and it's now going to get pooped out. Okay. So it's not going to really fortify you at all. It might be breaking down something maybe in 20 years downstream from you. Okay. But the key is really about quality nutrition and about absorption into the cells. That's the key. Right on the tongue. I like this little vanilla flavor it has. Where do we make this? We make this in Spain. There is a very pure area that we work with in Cadiz, Spain, that has a processing facility that has got high quality control as far as good manufacturing practices. And this is a very clean and sustainable product. This is where it comes from. For a little over $1 a day, is this something you want to add to your health regime? I like taking this every day. It's got a little it's a very thin strip, and you put it right on your tongue, and it dissolves within the moment, and it's in your bloodstream. These are the known researched effects, but it's much, much more than this. I'm not going to read all these to you. You can look at it. You can take a snapshot of it. One of my favorite things is number 4. When we're born, we have a lot of stem cell activation. As we age, the stem cell regeneration and population and numbers start declining. And we hit a tipping point. We are degenerating faster than regenerating. That usually happens like right around 23 or something like that. To about 30, you're kind of in warranty. After 30, you're kind of out of warranty. Okay. And so if you want to put a little bit more activation of the finest product, we do stem cell therapy in our office, in joints, into tissues, intravenously, brain function, kidney function, pancreas problems. And it's not a cheap product, okay, to do that. But if we can do something naturally that's going to help stimulate that stem cell activation naturally, we always want to use that first. Yes, it's good for cardiovascular. Yes, it's good for blood sugar. Yes, it's good for all these different things. It's just a great product across the board. And why wouldn't it be? It's the base nutrition of the planet. Of course it's going to be. Does any of this ring with you guys with all these different symptoms and different health benefits? My education here is that I'm always looking for products that work. This little strip can really, really help you. Now, when you blend it with other things all that you're doing, it's just one of those things, a tool in the toolbox to keep you healthy, to get you healthy. Comes a little box like this, a 30 count, and it's real simple to apply. I want to say thank you for joining us tonight. It's truly my pleasure. We keep these brief and short and quick.